but we'll see. But okay. We are live. So hello everybody in wherever it is you are. Hopefully you're having a good evening. We're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons. This is part of the Agents of B.E.A.R.D campaign. Shared campaign. We've got roughly 3 to 4 different groups. Though we're starting to merge some of them. So we'll see how things play out. But yeah, it's a shared campaign. We've got a custom world that we have built pretty much together. As far as the story premise, it's all collaborative, and yeah, things are written as we go, kind of situation, based on choices and things that are said and assumptions that are made, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think we could dive right in. Today we are going to be heading into Whitmor. So we are with the crew out of the Alphacraft Minecraft SMP. And yeah, they are responding to an assignment from the Adventurers Guild about a mining post out north, about a day's north journey. And the mining post is yet to be opened up. They need it cleared out first. There's sightings of wolves, and they don't want to send anyone in case the wolves are very defensive, and there's too many. And that's also not what the laborers do. They mine. It's the Adventurers Guild. It's their job to do that sort of thing. So we're going to be heading towards the towards the cave where this mining post has been set up to investigate, see what's in there. If there are, in fact, wolves, clear them out. And, yeah, make sure it is ready to go for the laborers to start mining, because there is an iron shortage in the in our setting, in our little settlements or group of settlements. And, or at least there's a fear of an iron shortage. And so opening up a new iron mine would be rather pleasant. So, with us today, we have the Gamer Hobbit. Say hello.
Hello, hello. I am playing as Khaligrim, a hill dwarf who is currently venturing out beyond into the worlds to study the giants and their ways of craftsmanship and stuff, and hopefully trying to learn the knowledge and pass it down onto his kin.
So I've heard you say that multiple times. I mean, like every session we've played. I am curious, in Khaligrim's mindset, when will kin begin to come?
Good question. He probably hasn't really thought too much on it with all these adventuring going on. Yeah. It's something that he just needs to think about on his downtime, I suppose.
Okay, all right. And we also have Indotorius.
Hello. I am playing Vels, a gem dragonborn from the House of Dusk up north. He was taken advantage of when at a young age and fell into the wrong hands and got involved in what he believes is the wrong side of a war of his kind, and the Adventurers Guild saved him, and he now wishes to repay his wrongdoings and help his kind to work together with the people of the continent.
And we also have Aletha Prime.
Oh, hello. I'm going to be playing as Wisp Ithrian, the relatively young wood elf druid who a while back lived in an area where there was a rift to the Fey realm, and one day that suddenly closed, and since then she's been kind of wondering what's been going on and looking for clues to try and piece together what happened.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, again, this is a collaborative world that we're building as we go. All of our characters have backstories that tie into the setting. There's really three ways that they would have got to this continent. So it's like an island, and about 20 years ago, settlers had well, scouts really had come and found it by ship and decided to settle it, and they've just been building a little society ever since. So that was about 20 years ago. So a good portion of our members, our Adventure Guild members, are part of that settlement group. So they traveled in for various reasons. The other way that people would get here is by being native. So native to the land. So right now, Wisp and Vels, you guys are both natives. So people who lived here prior to the settlers coming. And then the third way is just born here. I don't know. I think we might have one or two that have been born here from the settler group, but that would be the way. But okay. Last time we were all together. Well, we'll start with Khaligrim and Vels. Last time you guys were out on a mission was about 3 days ago. So today is the geez, I had it open. I think it was the 26th, 28th day of Elaine. Let me get that date. Uh, 25th day of Elaine. Okay, so the last time you guys were on a mission was 3 days ago, the 28th day of Elaine, and it was complicated. Is a word. Yeah, you guys had been assigned a the task to go investigate a potential landing of a meteor. And the reason why you guys were sent out was because last time a meteor had landed here on the continent, it brought some destruction, it brought some bad guys, and pretty much wiped out a majority of the village of Jagged Grove, which is on our eastern, in our eastern region. And they didn't want that to happen again. So, yeah, they wanted to be very, very swift in doing that. So the sighting was at the Pumpkin Town Festival, which was just a few days prior to that. And so you guys took the job to head out there. Beforehand, you guys met up with Luftcrofter, who is the quote-unquote the seer. He is a sage of the stars, a guy who pays attention to the skies, but also has an uncanny ability to foresee the future. His visions are a bit vague, a little cryptic, and not totally clear, but he usually gets the gist of what's going on. So he met with you guys and your party to just tell you what he saw in his vision. And yeah, you guys headed out, met up with some hunters. Turns out those hunters were shifters. And it turns out that those shifters apparently came from the meteor. That meteor was being defended by a very large monstrosity type creature. Yeah, Khaligrim, you nearly died.
Yeah.
So a lot took place. Norbin, trusted ally, trusted member of the Adventurers Guild, turns out, kinda led you guys into a trap, and it turned out to be a shifter as well. So, how are you both? Like, how are you dealing with just the fallout of that? Like, how is that affecting you, knowing that you went out there expecting one thing, you got another? You kind of got stabbed in the back by a member of the Adventurers Guild. Shifters, we potentially have a confirmed source of where they're coming from, and have scattered throughout the region. Where's your head at right now?
Vels is at least a bit shocked just seeing it all firsthand. It's one thing to hear about something, but to actually see it. And now Vels is kind of thinking like, well, whenever we go out, we need to expect it may be a trap. There may be some trap down the road. Just being very wary of that now. Also, Vels would definitely talk with Khaligrim and say, okay, we need like some way to know that we're each other. So if the shifters do look like us and try to trick us that way, we can at least have some warning, I guess would be a good way to put it.
I think Khaligrim would have similar thoughts to Vels. Just quite shocked. Especially when Norman, like, who was part of the group at that time, like, shapeshifted, and definitely feels like very, I suppose, uneasy in terms of like who to trust in that sense of like, because he was a part of the Adventurers Guild, so to say. It could be anyone in the Adventurers Guild now, it could be a shapeshifter without realizing it. So it's just like kind of figuring out, okay, who to trust. Because a shapeshifter could be anywhere. Like, it could be the mayor, it could be an adventurer or a bartender or anyone really. So he was definitely trying to as well as like trying to get through the kind of the shock kind of aftermath of what happens, trying to like figure out as well with Vels, and trying to as well talk to Wisp about like how to knowing a bit more about the shapeshifters, and trying to figure out how to try and tell if there's a shapeshifter around maybe, or what to do if they do arise again.
Khaligrim, you specifically faced death. You were knocked unconscious, and like I know you've got a lot of personal goals. You've got a lot of personal things that you want to accomplish, things, knowledge that you want to pass down. How does an event like that affect you in that regard?
I suppose with Khaligrim, it's like, it does make him kind of like, I don't know, a bit uncertain about, like uncertain about like where his goals kind of align with the future, in terms of like he might be starting to be unsure in terms of whether the stuff he's doing is like, I wouldn't say right, but more like safe for him, and because obviously his long-term goal would be wanting to learn stuff and passing it down to his kin, but like so far there's been no kind of rumors or anything about giants around and stuff, and with a dangerous mission like the previous one, he's he's quite middle-aged and stuff. He's probably like is running out of time, so to speak, in a way, and he's probably trying to just figure out what he can do before like anything else happens.
Besides conversations between the two of you and self-reflection, is there anything else you guys would be doing? Again, you've got about 3 days before the time that you returned from your last mission to today, where you pick your next assignment. So is there anything else that you guys would be doing during those days?
We've been over in Whitmor, right?
Correct, but I haven't gotten to you yet. You've got more days to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you guys are out in Whitmor. Although, I mean, you're a day out of Pumpkin Town. You could have traveled. Maybe getting out of the city would have done you some good.
That is probably actually a good point. Like, probably after like a day of just trying to calm down, Vels probably would have gone to Pumpkin Town then, just to help clear his mind and get ready for what's to come.
As far as in Pumpkin Town, no real new developments. Things have cleaned out. Any festival stuff, long gone. You still have some familiar faces there as far as those who are in the actual entertainment side. Just kind of doing other work, mostly laborers. But it seems like a majority of those who had come in have already departed. Both Fae and Non. But yeah, it's pretty quiet. Class is back in schedule, and people are just going about their lives, unaware of what you experienced, at least. You do hear the rumors of the meteor sighting. There is a hope that it's not another jagged growth, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty tame, pretty quiet. More talk of people heading through to Iron Hope Post to start that mining operation. Could lead to some big things. A lot of travelers through. Hopefully, that means bigger business. Khaligrim, anything from you? Anything you would have done outside of self-reflection? And yeah,
I think Khaligrim would have probably done the opposite. I think because of after what happened, he's probably like very uncertain about whether the shapeshifters would like come back down. So he probably went up to Copper Crossing and kind of did just keeping an eye out, just to make sure that there's no sign of like suspicious activity or anything like that. Probably going around asking about like the three hunters, what like kind of trying to learn a bit more about them and seeing if there was anything suspicious going on beforehand. Even though
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you would have known that those hunters left from Copper Crossing. So yeah, they definitely spent at least a night there. There was some talk about them. I'd like for an investigation roll, but the question is, do you want me to roll that for you, or do you want to roll that?
I'm happy to roll that.
Okay.
Investigation.
$17. All right. So as far as the hunters go, you would know that they are members of the Records Guild. So they've been scouting the territory in hopes to finding what all lives out there. So there was talk about a legendary sized bear, and which you noticed, which you found. But yeah, they're just interested to know what else is there, because we're in the middle of basically a growth period of these settlers. They're starting to expand out, so it's not just the two main roads. We're starting to expand past that, considering we've got the new settlements of Ironhope Post plus Crystal Head have just opened up. So yeah, they want to just kind of be aware so that they know how to approach things, can pass that knowledge, but also just be aware from a knowledge standpoint of what's available as far as resources go. If there's a heavy bear population or heavy deer population, that could mean some different sources of meat, sources of fur and pelts. So yeah, that was their focus. They seem like nice guys. It seemed like they spend a majority of their time up near the mountains, so away from like the main road. They usually stick closer to the tree lines. Every once in a while, we'll pop in to sell some stuff to report back in. But a majority of them actually came from Battle Shield, which is another small settlement that has popped up in the last 6 to 8 months. And its main focus is kind of being like a northern hub, at least for Hovestad. To like to see what's out there. So it's heavier on the Records Guild population. But yes, no talk of them returning. Though no one was expecting them to. And yeah, no talk of any new people coming in the town. You still see the same general familiar faces. Again, it's pretty much all goblin, half orc, bugbear, hobgoblin. There's really no major variety, I guess would be the word, of types of people that are there. But I think based on the reports that you heard about the shifters, it's still unknown of what they've been doing, but obviously, they infiltrated the Adventurers Guild twice. Once in Hovestad as the lead investigator, which you're familiar with. Also have infiltrated some of the other guilds, so taking place of the elf in the Jewelers Guild or Jewelers Association. So they seem to be infiltrating groupings. I think would be the main thing you're seeing. At least that's the common denominator you see right now. You seem to be getting into groups that have some kind of power. But again, it could be just happenstance, and you're only aware of maybe 5 or 6 people that have been documented to be taken over as far as their identities go by the shifters. But that seems to be a common denominator right now. People of power, people of political influence. So not really hearing any weirdness happening here would kind of make sense. They're all laborers mostly. Anything that you got that I'm sorry, is there anything that you would share with them about what you saw? 'Cause I don't think you guys necessarily hid why you were there and what you were doing. So now that you're back, is there anything that you would share?
I think just to keep things under control mostly, probably try to just talk about like finding the hunters and like the bear, not really exactly talking about like what went down at the meteor sighting.
Mm-hmm.
Plus also he doesn't want to kind of like rethink about that stuff because he's still kind of like dealing with everything that's kind of happened since it's still relatively fresh.
I think another piece of that in your mind is also just the crowd control. Like you don't necessarily want to put fear into people that something could be out there and could be coming. Just being members of the Adventurers Guild, like you're there to kind of protect. So I think to say to acknowledge a potential failure would probably go against reputation.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Vels spend a day in Pumpkin Town. Kind of get away from everything. Khaligrim, you head to Copper Crossing. See if what else you can find out. Wisp, on the other hand, you were not a part of that. And instead, I don't know if I want to call it a vacation. It's been kind of like a bit of a holiday for you. You took a few days off to head from Whitmor to Pumpkin Town to enjoy the festival. And it sounded like you enjoyed it. And then yeah, you kind of separated from Vels at that point. Vels headed back to Whitmor. And you had an opportunity to do whatever you'd like. You had 8 days between Pumpkin Town and the morning you head off on this mission. What would those 8 days look like?
Well, Wisp is very keenly aware of what happened during the festival at Pumpkin Town, and while she did end up having a good time, she's also kind of slightly embarrassed and insecure about, having turned into a spider, throwing a child on her back and running across the tightrope, and kind of scaring a poor child, without intending to. And so she's also decided to kind of go out and take some time for herself, away from people, away from the noise, and it's kind of just gone into the woods, sort of heading towards Whitmor, not too far off the path, but enough where she doesn't really have to come across people for the most part. And so she just spent some time just kind of, foraging for food and supplies. She knows that she eventually wants to try and make some more healing potions whenever she has time. She stopped at the river on the way to Whitmor, and ended up taking out her staff of the woods, planting it near the river, growing a 60-foot oak tree, and just kind of spending probably a good day just in the tree.
Okay.
Just kind of trying to recenter herself, and
Okay. Well, two things. Health potions. You would have 7 days basically to do that. So you could spend as much time on that as you would like. The other thing is that tree. Let me open up your sheet, because I need to remember. Remember what all that does. All right, so you got Staff of the Woods. Yes, while holding the staff with both hands, you can drive it into the ground and grow swiftly into a full-sized oak tree, and remains so until the bear wishes otherwise. So, you could definitely do that. Yes, you said spending time in the tree. What do you mean by that?
Just kind of off the ground. Just kind of as another way to kind of distance herself from other people. And instead of putting out a tent like somebody else might do, she instead just kind of hangs out among the leaves and listens to the river, and occasionally pulls out her bottle of Witchlight wine and uncorks it to listen to the music that's inside for a little while before putting it away, and just kind of meditates for a while as well.
Okay. Now, you're saying this is just for a day, or is this a few days?
Along a slow walk back to Whitmor, essentially. So it's probably a couple days getting back there.
Okay.
Kind of getting distracted by little things here or there.
Yeah. Well, one distraction, maybe welcoming. But you got a little bird, a little sparrow that flies up onto the tree and kind of pecks at it. Looks like it's looking for food, but we didn't really dive into the natural side of this tree, whether or not it would be just a tree, but would it also have bugs already inside? I don't know. The sparrow thinks there might be. Kind of starts pecking away at this tree, hopping from one part of the branch to another. Say it's about like 15 feet from you, but super noticeable, because otherwise there isn't a lot of there's not a lot of activity around you. But as it gets closer, I would say like within like 5 feet of you, it kind of looks up and sees you, and it flies up and away from you onto another branch, but a branch that is basically eye level, again within 5 feet of you, and it looks at you. And then you begin to hear a familiar voice. And it's it tells you that some things came up. I'll let you know when I'm ready to meet. I'm delayed a bit. And it's in the voice of Jabble.
Yep. Because he had that sparrow with him before,
He seemed to
if I
have
remember
some...
correctly.
You never knew what he had. You thought it was a hawk, but who knows?
Oh, that's right. Okay. I remember he had some sort of bird. I just, can't remember all
Yeah.
the details. Yep.
I think...
So I will respond to him and say
just
that.
real... actually, well, just real quickly. Let me look at something. You would be familiar with the general concept of what is occurring. That this bird has plopped down in front of you, notices you, shifts to be directly in front of you, and begins to speak in Jabble's voice. That's magic, but it's true. It's druid magic. I think you would be familiar with the concept of animal messenger.
Huh.
And it's a piece of magic that allows you to send out a messenger of animal form, bestial, to deliver that message, and it will find you if the description was close enough, and speak from the voice of those who are sending it. But you do not have a chance to respond. You'd be familiar with that.
Ah. Good to know.
Otherwise,
Well, I don't
there
exactly
is
have
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was suggested that he would be near Pumpkin Town about now. However, I would think your impression of him isn't necessarily that he's the type of person who follows a rigid schedule. He's more of a like as the wind blows type of guy. So yeah, it's likely he's out there still looking for information. He was gonna try to reach out to the Furbolgs. Maybe he got delayed up there. Maybe he found another structure that he's taking a look at. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily outlandish that he's delayed or surprising, really.
Right.
But as far as distractions go, the only other thing that would pose a distraction to you, we'll say you kind of spent like at least 2 days here in the tree. Ships going down the river. They are carrying lumber. Yeah, you would figure that they're probably coming from Copper Crossing and heading down to Crystal Head.
I see.
Yeah, you've got some ships that are actually carrying wood. But in between the ships, there's just logs that are kind of floating in the water, and the ships are just kind of pushing them along. But otherwise, it's fairly quiet. There's a lot going on. You're not necessarily close to the main road, so there isn't much traffic. Lots of wildlife, though. Lots of deer in the area, rabbits, small birds. Not many visiting the tree, but at least getting into the tree, but many that are just kind of out and around the tree.
That makes sense.
As far as your potion making, I'd like a roll on your herbalism kit.
Okay.
And I forget what we did before.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we
Hmm.
did this. We did this once already. Let's just go with use wisdom.
Okay.
18. All right, so we'll say you walked a day from Pumpkin Town to the river where you placed your tree. Sat in the tree
Mhm.
for a couple of days, and then the rest of the time you would just head back into Whitmor and hang out, or is there anything that would happen in between that?
Yeah, I think I'd probably head back to Whitmore. Um. I think in that time I also would have probably sent some sort of correspondence back to my family. Just writing them a letter regarding nothing really in detail, but basically just letting them know that I'm fine and I'm traveling and met some, new friends and some interesting people and
Yeah.
kept my friends alive
Okay.
as much as I can.
Okay.
But nothing
So
too
just a general
specific.
report. Yeah. Yeah, just a general report of what's been
Yeah.
going on, but not, no real major details.
Mhm.
Just a positive spin on everything. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I would
Um,
probably walk by.
Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking I would occasionally peek in on Veloptina and Zook since they were a little shifty previously. I'm probably not going to see anything, but just kind of
Well,
eyeing
I would
their
say
place
yeah,
they're
I
getting
would
set up.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're getting set up in Crystal Head, so you'd have to head down to Crystal Head for that.
Oh, Crystal Head.
Is that
Okay.
what yeah.
Not in Whitmore. I couldn't remember where
Yeah.
everyone was heading. Oh, that's right. Okay.
All right. Three potions of healing. You would be able to make. I would
take
also
one,
say
and once I. Mhm.
you've also got enough supplies to make 5 more when you have the time. But I think generally speaking, once you get to Whitmore and just kind of check in, you'd get the report of what happened with the meteor strike, and the investigative team that went out to take a look at it. You'd be aware of pretty much everything that went on that. It seemed like different creatures came out this time. You still had a very large red-skinned creature, but seemed a lot stronger and is still alive and still out there. Shifters are about, and it seems like the assumed idea is that the shifters have come from these meteorites, that they have used these as some kind of ship travel here from wherever they came from. And because of that, it explains where the shifters came from in the first place, because of what happened in Jagged Grove. It's likely shifters came in that and have integrated in the city in some fashion in Hovestad. But you would have heard, that Khaligrim kind of got beat up. But I would say by the time you make it to town, they have headed off, and it's not until the morning of that you finally meet up with them. So, okay. Morning of. Again, the 28th day of Elaint. You guys ready to take your assignment in the Adventurers Guild, and the assignment that is given to you is going to the Iron Hope mining post, clear out wolves. So you guys would just get the brief, and as you guys go in to get that brief, it's the three of you. But yeah, Iron Hope mining post was set up recently near an entrance to a cave. There's iron deposits pretty much on the surface around it. And the assumption is there's more iron inside of the cave, but there's been sighting of wolves. And so, yeah, no one wants to go in. They want to go in when they know it's safe. So your job is to go there and to clear it out and make sure it's safe so that these guys can go in and do what they need to do to get iron for the rest of the continent. You are given a name, a contact to go talk to. The name is Nuraval Falak, and he is the foreman from the Miners Association that's on the project. Most likely he'll be in an office setting, but as of this point, Adventurers Guild isn't really aware of what's going on there. They know there's been some construction of buildings, but unsure. So just head out. If you see an office, head in there or ask around. Try to find Nerval. He is a dwarf. And yeah, again, you guys are in Whitmor. It is about a day's journey on the road. Iron Hope Post. So you guys are meeting up. First time in 8 days that the three of you have gotten together. What's the conversation like as you travel? It likely you guys should arrive by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I guess part of that depends on how they look when they get here. I'm pretty well rested by this point.
I think physical wounds would be gone, healed up. Maybe some bruising lingers, maybe some scars. But otherwise, yeah, I think it might be more of a possible emotional distancing. But I don't know. Khaligrim? Vels, how do you guys look? To Wisp as she comes up after a wonderful 8-day holiday.
Well, Vels would have, thanks to his time just away from it at all, he's emotionally doing a lot better. I don't remember if he took like any hits during the fight, so not like many injuries, if any. But he had just gotten back the night before, so well rested, ready to take on the next job. So overall, Vels is looking pretty good.
So if I were to ask you how the mission went, how would you respond? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, right. Mission went, well, worse than I would have hoped. Turns out meteors are home to whatever the shifters are. And we found a creature extremely powerful, nearly wiped us out.
Jeez.
Yeah. Khaligrim nearly died. He was lucky that we managed to get out of there.
Malcolm
So-
just nods his head silently.
Now I feel bad about not being there. I mean, I don't want you guys to feel bad, but you know, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I guess no more vacations for a while in that case. But I guess I'm glad you're able to get some clues as to what's going on there. But
Yeah, the information
if
we
you-
gathered was
if you guys
great,
find out-
but at the yeah,
I probably wouldn't be okay.
I don't know if the cost was worth it.
Out though.
And I'm purposely leaving out the information regarding the guild member that was a shifter. Let's not worry about that. Let's not scare everyone just yet.
Any obvious double checking, asking questions only you would know the answer to, like that, that you and Wisp would only know the answer to. Like, are you diving deep to verify that Wisp is who she says she is?
I should be. I'm trying to think of any questions that would work for that.
Hmm.
Did Wisp let us know where she was going beforehand?
I would think there would be a conversation
Or like-
when you two left Pumpkin Town. You were heading straight to Whitmor to take on the next
I would have
job.
told you where I was going.
Yeah.
Well, Wisp, how was your trip? It's been a while since I've seen you as well.
Quiet, which I think is what I needed for quite some time. I've been spending a lot of time in cities and towns, and it was nice to kind of not be around for a while.
Yeah, it's good to be out in the nature. You know, just listening to nature and being yourself for a bit.
Yeah, I think especially we all really needed that.
Bunch of logs float down the river too. It's surprisingly interesting, actually. Being able to, kind of count how many came down and what type. Yeah, wasn't able to guess, all the different types, but, I tried. But, well, there was a bird as well. Jowl contacted me, and he'll let us know when he's available. He's running a little bit behind.
Oh, Jabble, interesting. Well, definitely let us know when he gets back to you then, because that could be. He was looking into the Feywild?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
I'm gonna turn to Khaligrim. I think she's safe.
Good.
What was that?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
It's good to see you back in one piece there.
Well, I guess we better get ready to head up to Iron Hope.
Yep.
And you guys probably need a bath. Actually, I'm telling you, you need a bath.
Should have
Maybe
used
later.
that downtime better. Hey, Wisp, real quick. The tree you took down, right? You've got the staff with you still, or did you leave it there?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I took it with me.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right, so
Still
the
on the tree.
the day-ish journey at Iron Hope Post doesn't you don't really see a whole lot. There is some traffic going from Whitmor region to Copper Crossing and back. Not a lot of traffic heading up the road to Iron Hope Post, though. And when you get there, it is roughly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So definitely the smells of things cooking as you head up. It's more of a camp or an encampment, I guess, than anything else. You've got 3 newly constructed buildings. One appears to be maybe like a small tavern. Doesn't have a sign yet, but shows all the signs of such things. One looks to be more of like just a 1-story office, some kind, and then the third building is what appears to be a large stable. There's quite a few horses that are stabled there. Otherwise, not a lot of foot traffic in town. Most of the traffic or the people are outside of town. There's just the various caravans that traveled up there. The wagons are just basically sitting on the side of the road, probably about 1 to 200 feet away from the structures. Maybe 40, 50 people, all kind of just hanging around makeshift campsites near the wagons. I think as you guys walk up, you would almost get a sense of lethargy, maybe boredom, as people just kind of, they're just kind of slumming around. They're just people, like, this would just be a campsite.
Mm-hmm.
People going out and sitting and talking, drinking, eating, but not really a whole lot going on, except for one group. A few dwarves appear to be having some kind of competition over who could break the most blocks out in front of the wagons. They've got like a set of larger, not boulder sized things that you can carry, but probably at least like 50 to 100-pound blocks of stone that they are placing in front of the 2 that are competing, and they're taking their picks and they're driving them down, break them. There's a lot of people just kind of standing around. Say as you guys get up within about 50 feet, you start to see there is some money being exchanged. Seems like there's some betting going on. But as you guys walk up, eyes start to turn towards you. And one guy in particular, again, dwarf, turns and looks at you and waves and starts to head in your direction. He's carrying a pick in one hand. On the other hand, it looks like he's like actively trying to sharpen it. Maybe he's going to be heading into this competition. Maybe he's just prepping tools for it. But he walks up to you. Hi. Adventurers? The guild sent you?
Yes, sir. We're looking for a Neuroval I wonder, would that be you?
He's got just kind of like sandpaper, almost like that type of texture, a block of stone that he's using to sharpen the blade of the pick, but he kind of pockets that and reaches out his hand. That's me. It's about time someone showed up. We, as you can see, we're biding our time. Itching for the moment that we can enter into the mine. So, what do you need to know?
Well, it would certainly help if we knew where the mine was. And I'd say if all is successful, you may be able to start mining within 2 days.
I mean, we make no promises, but we'll work as quickly as we can.
Yeah, optimistically.
As soon as you exit out and tell us it's ready to go, we'll be out the following morning. Unless, you spend a few hours out there. I mean, who knows with this group? We might head out tonight. I guess we'll find out. But there's a path, and he points to the northern half of like the area where the buildings are. Just past the buildings, follow that path. That'll lead you right to the cave. We put some gravel down, matted down some of the weeds up until we saw the wolves, and then we kind of put some stuff on hold. But just keep following that straight, and you'll get there. But yes, as you probably heard, it's that evidence of wolves. We've seen some tracks, bits of fur, small dead animals. And we didn't want to go in. At night, that's pretty much all you hear is wolves just howling.
Do you have an idea as to how
Any
many?
idea how much? Yeah.
Nope, not at all. I'm not a scout myself. I am aware that they travel in packs, so there's probably at least a half a dozen. Could be more, could be less. But I will say
That doesn't sound too bad.
other members of the Laborers Guild have alerted me that if there's a good quality fur that you pick up, to make sure to take it back to Whitmor. Or you could sell it for quite a bit.
If it comes to that.
There is a bit of an interruption to the conversation. Nerval kind of turns his head as there's a lot of cheers. It seems like one of the guys has won, the other has given up. So again, money is kind of exchanging hands, and Nerval turns and just kind of shakes his head and wipes his brow and looks back at you. Well, looks like I'm up soon. Listen, the only other thing that has been said, it's all hearsay to me, but there's been a few that have went out scrounging for food, any small game that they could find, and have noted that possibly seen some figures walking about further up the mountainside. No clue on the Dragonborn or elves, or probably not dwarves. It sounded like they were a bit taller. maybe not. But yeah, it seems like these figures seem to frequent the area. They're definitely aware of the camp, but they haven't approached, and we had no reason to approach them. But we do know they've never seemed to go towards the cave entrance that we're aware of, so hopefully that means they're just hunters or something. They're not actively trying to snatch up our mine. But if there are any squatters in there, feel free to dispatch them as well. We're here for a purpose and we must fulfill it. That means they need to get out.
Maybe speak to those who saw these figures, by any chance?
I'm not sure how much more information you'll get out of them. I mean, we're all pretty far from... I mean, the cave entrance is good 1,000 feet away. They didn't really get too close to that, but just could see him through the trees. Shadows, really. Not like we're carrying spy glasses or anything that could get a closer look, and we had no interest in doing so. You could definitely speak with them, but I don't think you'd learn much more. I'm only passing it because it might be relevant.
I'm sure that is relevant
Well,
information indeed.
we appreciate the information.
I don't mean to be bureaucratic or anything, but the cave entrance, the mines inside, those are ours. So, if you were to pick up any iron, please report it, bring it in. But I would recommend you just do your job. Leave the iron to us, that's what we're here for.
And we will do just that.
Well, thank you for the help, Niravel. I wish you the best with your game over there. Kind of give him a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, you've definitely
Best of luck.
seen you've definitely seen this before. This kind of competition between miners, between stone dwarfs for sure.
Mm.
But okay, what would you guys like to do? Just head straight there?
Yeah. Well, there's still daylight. All you have to get moving. It is probably like I don't know, 4:30 by now, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you guys got about probably 3 hours of daylight to head up there. Seems like it's only about 5-10 minute walk, so it really shouldn't take you long to get there.
Yeah.
But as you depart, well, actually, before you depart, but you guys can talk about it afterwards. Vels, you would using passive insight, you would sense a few things with this guy. First of all, seemed lacking patience, frustrated. Was more or less hoping you would just go and do it and get out so that they can get started. But it doesn't look like he slept a lot. You know of the fear that's being pushed in the newspaper. The fear talking to some of the community that if there is an iron shortage, like it's a pretty big deal, because iron, that handles weapons, that handles tools, it handles quite a bit of items and machinery as well. So yeah, it'll affect pretty much everyone. So, and you also know that Iron Hope Post has been set up for a couple of months, so they probably have just been sitting here waiting for someone to come in and clear it out. So yeah, you definitely got the sense that he was very short. That maybe not necessarily you wouldn't get the information or additional information that you needed from talking to those who saw the figures, but that didn't seem important. He didn't seem as concerned because they hadn't approached the entrance. But yeah, it doesn't look like he's had much sleep. Very, not necessarily a panicked look, but just definitely a lacking of patience. But he didn't get a sense that he was like hiding anything from you. But you guys head off. You walk through town. Again, there's no traffic. See the tavern open. The doors are open. See there's a few people inside, but yeah, I mean, it's brand new. Seems like most of the people, they're just sticking near their wagons. Homes haven't been set up yet. I think one wagon you would have recognized is the family of dwarves that you traveled with. They were not involved in the competition, but were kind of set back. Probably so kids weren't inundated with loud talking and cheering and whatnot.
If we see them, Vels will wave, but knowing the urgency that they're kind of feeling.
And Wisp would do the same.
Okay. You make it through town, and it pretty much, like, the path leads right up into the hills. You're kind of like in a flat piece of these hills. Mountains you can definitely see over the tree line, but the path kind of stops at that point, and in front of you is a bit of a incline, about 30 to 40 degrees. Not too rough, but yeah, I'm curious, knowing that the cave entrance is probably within 1,000 feet of the town. How are you approaching the cave?
Looking around, would I see any fresh, or would I see any wolf tracks? And if so, I'm trying to get an idea for how long it's been since they've been here.
Okay. Is there a marching order, or are you guys just walking three across? You head up. Trees are cleared. There's definitely a place for a pathway, just that they stopped laying gravel down. But yeah, are you guys walking three across, or is there a specific marching order?
That's something we haven't discussed before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if there's room, we might. I imagine we would probably go through across
Okay.
if there's room on the path.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So you're looking, Wisp, you're looking specifically for tracks, for fur, any signs of recent activity. The other two, what do you guys do? Khaligrim,
Yes.
what's your intent here as you begin your approach?
Just kind of getting like a look of the cave overall, just to kind of like see what's, how dark it is. Could they hear anything like initial sounds or
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
get that sense until you get closer. So you definitely see where the tree line has been cleared. And then it just kind of stops. So there's like a tree in the middle of your path up ahead, about a good 600-700 feet. You think the cave's just on the other side of that. You're looking upwards. You're not seeing a cave opening, so it's likely there is some kind of landing of sorts, like a small clearing, flat area that would lead into it. But as of right now, 500 feet away, or at least assumed 500 feet away, you're not seeing the cave entrance here.
okay.
But definitely up closer, you could look at that stuff. Vels, what's your intention here? How are you approaching this?
Looking for like tracks around the cave or just also movement like behind the cave. I'm assuming there's like mountain behind it. So just in case the wolves are like moving around the mountains behind it, just kind of keeping an eye out around there as well.
Okay. That's a few different things. So let's do this. Wisp, survival roll. And Khaligrim and Vels, I would accept either perception or investigation.
And I'm going to cast guidance on myself for an extra 1d4.
Perception.
Oof.
All right. So Khaligrim, as you're heading towards this, you've got intention of looking at the cave entrance. So you're kind of focused ahead, but you notice the other two just kind of like looking around. Vels is looking from the ground and then up towards the mountains. You see Wisp is kind of focused in more towards the ground, maybe lower tree area. Seems to be focusing on some things. And so you pan down and look around. And Khaligrim, I would say with again assumed about halfway there, so probably like within 300 feet, you're gonna notice a few things. One is there is definitely tracks here, especially once you get past the last tree that was fell. Paw prints, so definitely dog-like. Yeah, definitely all match the idea of a wolf or a dog. But you're also noticing some variations in size. You've got small ones, normal size wolf, assumedly. I would think where you're from, you probably are a bit familiar with wolf tracks. out in the eastern mountains.
Hmm.
But yeah, normal size wolf tracks. There are 2 other sets that may be a little bit more alarming, or at least noteworthy, and that is there's like a size that seems to be double that, and then a size that seems to be double the double, like a huge paw print. The other thing you're going to notice is that once you get past that tree line and you're actually into the woods, there is a lot of loose brush on the ground, a lot of pine needles and that sort of thing. So you guys are crunching a bit. But while that's occurring, there are marks of blood. Still red, so probably recent. Last at least 8 hours. Most likely small game or something. Again, if these are wolf tracks, then it's likely they maybe caught something, carried it back this way. But you're getting no rhyme or reason of direction from these tracks. You're not getting any recency either. Just observations you're making.
Right.
Did you want us to roll d6s?
Oh yeah, can we? I forgot.
How about that?
That'll be
Yep.
helpful. For those watching from home, D6s, they are our fate die. Sort of. I don't really know what to call it. Basically, it's is someone looking out for you? Is the DM going to be nice or not? As far as how things go. We're looking for 2 numbers, 6s and 1. 6 means someone good's looking out for you. Might get a little bit more information or health potions when you need it, or yeah, something. Maybe rolls aren't as necessary. You just know stuff. 1s are the opposite. That means bad things. But we got a 2 and 2 3s. So generally average day, normal day. So Khaligrim, with that information that you see, and I think definitely the sound of you guys crunching is super noticeable to you. It doesn't seem like the other 2 are making much signs that they're noticing. They're just kind of scattered. They're kind of focused on different things as they look around. But based on what you see, what do you say?
Khaligrim calls them over and relays the information. You ever seen wolf tracks this size before? Kind of like points to the 2 large, abnormally larger tracks.
I can't say that I have.
Like, I've heard of larger wolves, but I'm not sure if I don't think I've come in contact with any of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
Would I know anything more about larger wolves in particular?
I don't know. I mean, I think larger creatures in general is somewhat recently common knowledge for the 3 of you. The 2 of you who just saw a super big bear. reading that report, I think the idea that there being a legendary sized bear, a legendary sized wolf, isn't a far stretch. But Wisp, yeah, as far as what you have seen, I guess it would just be dependent on how much you've traveled. It seemed like you went from your area down southeast into the Adventurers Guild, and you've just been doing jobs for the Adventurers Guild. Is there any traveling you would have done before then, like before joining the Adventurers Guild?
Probably. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. So, still relatively young as far as the elves go, and so I wouldn't have spent probably too much time out on my own after first leaving home.
Yeah. Just the way cultures tell stories, share knowledge. It's not super absurd of an idea that there's both super big versions of creatures and super small versions of creatures. Like, that seems pretty natural to you. But have you run into anything? Have you seen it yourself? No. But I think you'd be aware that it's obviously possible naturally.
Right.
Khaligrim, as you point this out, the other piece that you're going to notice, like as you kind of turn around and try to pull in the others to talk about what you're seeing, behind them seemed to be something that you guys had kind of crossed over, and you didn't really notice at first, but coming from this direction, you're getting a little bit of a glint from the sun from it. But on the ground is what appears to be small black stones. Seems to be like 4 or 5 of them just kind of clumped together in this area about 5 feet behind you guys.
Kind of like see this and what's that over there? Walk over to where the stones are. Try and have a look at them.
Yeah, as you as you get closer, they look very flat. So you kind of stoop down, start to kind of pull them up to get a closer look, and you realize that they're not stones. They appear to be scales almost. Almost like hexagonal in shape. They're attached to one another. It reminds you of something reptilian, and you kind of look to relay what you're seeing to the rest of the party, and you take a look at Vels. And you notice a resemblance of the scales, much smaller than his, but similar, very similar to his scales.
I'm guessing then that the figures they saw were dragonborn, and well, if I can only hope this one got away.
Yeah, as you get a closer look, Vels, at this, again, it's similar, but it seems smaller. I mean, it could be a child, but
Yeah, that's kind of what Vels is thinking. It's a child.
it seems odd that a child would be out here, because they don't look old. They look relatively recent. The only thing you could think of that would be this size, and again would match the idea of figures in this area, is kobolds, because you ran into them before.
I'm trying to remember the first session we had. That was like around this area too, right? That was the kobolds.
Yeah, it was on the other side of Copper Crossing, and there were
Okay.
kobolds in a
That's
cave.
right.
Yeah.
You know, there
right.
is political awareness of the native kobolds. It's just assumed it's natives. I mean, I think you would know about kobolds. They existed in your area of society. Not a lot, and they definitely didn't take any positions of importance per se. But you were aware there were some kobolds that kind of lived in your society. So there was yeah. So like you're pretty confident that they're native here. But yeah, there is some political interest in having them join the society, but there's just been no interest, it seemed, from the kobold side to do so. They're just kind of stuck to themselves in the mountains, which, you know, kind of mimics your experience with your dragonborn people.
Yep. Very similar.
So okay. Up ahead, you guys kind of turn back around and look up, and you see a small ledge. Like you see a lip of a ledge, and then you kind of don't have the view of like what's on top of it, but then you see like the mountains behind it. So it's likely, if the cave is right around here, that you're probably pretty close to it. Khaligrim, again, you know that you were making some sound crunching through the pine needles and whatnot. How do you guys want to approach the actual cave?
If the wolves are inside, they'll probably be towards the front. So I think we should try to get up close quietly. That way they don't have the jump on us, and rather we have the jump on them in case they are inside the cave.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
Slow and careful.
These are we're making quite a bit of noise on this ground here, so we might need to try and be extra careful.
So are we all rolling stealth?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll do a group check.
Sure.
Vels with a 17. Khaligrim with an 18. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, and a 14. Very good.
It's okay. Yep.
All right. So you guys are going to quietly move up towards this ledge. Try to kind of loop around and be as quiet as possible. And as you get up onto the ledge, seeing no signs of activity right now. You're not seeing anything in front of you, but you do see the cave opening. And we're going to switch to another map.
Woo!
Khaligrim, as you look forward towards the opening of this cave, it seems to kind of jet off to the left. Seems like there's an opening and there's a back end, but it definitely looks like there's maybe just kind of like it just kind of shoots off to the left. Definitely still seeing the same signs as it was pointed out to you guys before. You would all be aware of this. There's definitely activity here. As far as recency, it's hard to gauge. But Khaligrim, no lights coming from inside of this cave. Lights leading into this cave because it's still daylight, but it does seem to be rather dark inside.
Then to Vels and Wisp. You want to go first, any of you?
I don't mind
Well, I
going
think
first.
Good. I was going to suggest one of you should go first. Remember, I can't see very well in the dark.
Oh, yes, that's right. You like a torch to go down, or do you feel that you
Well,
could manage in the dark?
I can manage as long as I'm close behind both of you.
Okay. Right.
I think whenever we get to a good stopping spot for a little bit, if we could just take a quick break.
We could take a break right here.
Maybe before we get into something new.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break.
See you in a little bit.
Yep.
You.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back.
I'm back as well.
Oh, cool. We're all here.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Cat was starting to go a little crazy, so I had to play with
Word.
him for a bit.
All right. You can head back in. So you guys are in front of a cave. It is dark inside. Khaligrim, that is definitely something you notice. There's activity. As far as how recent, I don't think that is necessarily something that you are noticing. Let me take a look at your sheet. Best guess. Best guess is within the last few hours. Passively gauging consistency of the mud, the dirt tracks, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But yes, where you're standing, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 is where the cave looks like it turns in towards the east. So, what are we doing? Guys have been sneaky. No signs that they have noticed you. Not hearing any growls or anything that would suggest that they're prepared and ready for you.
I imagine probably keep sneaking for a bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna move forward.
All right.
Assuming it's in that direction.
Yeah. All right, Vels, you're moving there. Vels, you still have sight, but you know moving forward it's going to be kind of sketch for you.
Yeah.
Khaligrim, you don't really notice it from your vantage point, but Wisp, as you peek around the corner, you know there's a pretty large rock that seems to be connected with the ceiling. There's definitely a path to the south of it. Potentially there's a path to the north of it, but it's hard to tell from that standpoint. But I would say from where you are, you're gonna hear some sounds. Those sounds are bestial in tone, bestial in nature. Sounds like maybe something eating, potentially arguing over scraps of food. You definitely hear at least 2, maybe 3 creatures that are around the same area, definitely coming from inside of the cave. But the sound kind of echoes a little bit for you, so it's hard to really determine placement, but you just know it's further in.
I'm sorry, I said what does it sound like it's just one creature growling or just kind of that general noise?
At least 2, potentially 3. There's definitely sounds of eating. Maybe growling, like arguing over scraps, defending scraps, sort of thing. Seems very animalistic in tone. Pretty natural from your understanding of wolves, that they would fight over scraps or at least bark off those trying to encroach on their food. What would you
Well,
like
if
to
you
do?
want to take 10 minutes, I can cast Speak with Animals and not use a spell slot. If we want to take 10 minutes, but unless we want to go in. Because then I might have a better idea of what the
Well,
nature of what's
10
going on is.
10 minutes, our scent may get to them. They may realize something's here.
That's true. I'll just go ahead and cast Speak with Animals then.
Okay. Go ahead and put that in the chat. All right, thank you. Speak with animals. You have gained the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for 10 minutes. Knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited. Blah blah blah. You might be able to persuade the beast to perform a small favor for you. Okay. So, what is the messaging like? As you yelp into this cave.
I'm more
Language.
listening to see what I can understand.
Wonderful. Okay. You get the sense that there is an argument over food. Mostly like, stay away. This part's mine. Get your own. Get away from me. That sort of thing. It's just there is an argument happening here. But it is likely that they just brought something in recently and they are treating themselves to a meal. I would say, based on your ability to comprehend, I would say you know that there are 3 having this conversation. But there is a 4th that you hear coming from further back that is just more or less almost like a motherly type figure. Hush up, just eat, that sort of thing. That sort of conversation.
As quietly as I possibly can, try to convey that to the other 2. There's there's 4 ahead. Sounds like a mom and maybe 3 younger wolves.
Noted.
Noted.
Should I try talking with them? Or should we get closer?
I mean, if you want it, yeah, sure. Trying to talk to one of them. Something.
Oh, we can keep trying to sneak up on them or just let them know that we're here.
What's your intention here? You guys are charged with clearing these guys out. Are you thinking, Wisp, right now that you might try to parlay with these guys to move? Or are you heading into
That's
this thinking you're going to fight? Or at least knowing you're
Preparing for the worst, but hoping, but hoping that maybe I can tell them what's going on and convince them to that this isn't the place for them. I hope.
FYI, you are breaking up just a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Yep. So my hope is to maybe convince them that to go somewhere else, essentially.
Okay. I think your knowledge of beasts, animals in general, especially those who are a bit more pack oriented and or scavengers, that persuasion would be rather difficult. So if that is something that you would like to do, it would be at least a DC 15 persuasion to get them to understand and head out. But knowing that there's at least 4 of them, signs that there is a very large one, which again could be the 4th one. And also knowing they're in the middle of a meal. Yeah, this could be bad
That's
timing.
true.
Bad timing. But time is of the essence.
That is
So
I guess our other mission is also to figure out what's in there and make sure we get everything out. So maybe some reconnaissance first.
Yeah, and even if they were to leave, there's no guarantee they won't come back.
Right. Yeah, well, I guess we can quietly move forward and see if we can figure out where they are and see if there's a way around them.
okay. Khaligrim. The light coming from inside, from the outside, causing some shadows to come in, but I would say Wisp as well. You just notice there's some shadows kind of bouncing off the walls over to the right side. You think that they are relatively close to you guys, just on the other side of this area. You've got the big rock in front of you that, yeah, there's definitely a passageway to go on the western side of it, up. Seems like there's another passageway to the right side, but yeah, this rock in the center, it does connect with the ceiling. The ceiling here is roughly 30 to 40 feet up. No, I'd say 25 feet up. It's a bit jagged, but yeah, probably the highest point is about 25 feet up.
Well, Khaligrim, you're more of the mine expert, so do you have any ideas?
Should we sneak to the left? Or do you want to go to where the shadows are, to the right?
Well, there's a good chance that there's shadows. That's where the wolves are, or at least It's nearby.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's either
Yeah,
approach
let's head to
where they're eating
the
or
left.
try to go around them.
Hmm.
I think the only thing worth consideration here is approaching them. You deal with them now. If you go through the other side, based on what you guys know, you're delaying that initial encounter, but you're potentially also putting yourselves in a bad spot, only because we don't know like what else is in here, how large this room is, what else is in here. So you just your general training as adventurers, you would know that yes, it's delaying the initial encounter with potentially 3 that are down here eating, but at the same time you could be boxing yourselves in.
I think it's best that we deal with them now while we have an escape route ready.
Good idea.
That makes sense.
Sneak our way
All
over.
right. Yeah, so as you inch closer, you're gonna see one. And it is on its on all fours, and it seems to be in a position. Back end is what you see, but it is moving back and forth. And you're definitely, as you guys move closer, you're hearing sounds of eating. All of you, that would be very apparent. So Wisp, you're definitely seeing the back end of this wolf. Khaligrim, midsection, the back
Mhm.
end.
Hmm.
They have not noticed you yet, or at least have not acknowledged you yet.
Should we jump them whilst they don't know we're here?
Probably would be best.
I don't think I can talk them into leaving.
Okay.
Vels, you
Alright.
see nothing.
I can't. Yeah, I have a plan to fix that, but I'm waiting for surprise
Yeah.
round.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm gonna
Okay.
quickly cast guidance on Khaligrim right before
Okay.
he goes in. And that gives you a D4 to your next D20 roll, essentially.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Well, it's an ability check, as written. But if it's an attack we're talking about, it wouldn't fall. It wouldn't affect that. But as of right now, if it is an attack roll, you technically have not seen any acknowledgement whatsoever that they are aware of your presence, so an attack would be at advantage.
Okay.
It just depends on what you're about to do.
Well, you can use it on an ability check within the next minute.
gets his weapon out and slowly advances around the corner.
All right. 10:15. You see all three that are here. And yeah, they are busy eating, arguing amongst themselves. I would say at this point, we need to make a decision of what we're doing, because if you get any closer, they will know you're there.
Gonna go in first, Khaligrim?
Yeah, I'll probably run in and get a surprise attack. Try and get to. Yeah.
Okay. Khaligrim's gonna run in for an attack. Wisp, what are you doing at that point?
I think I'm just gonna cast Frostbite on the closest wolf.
Closest wolf to you would be this one. Oops, wrong button. This one.
Mhm.
Okay. And Vels, what's your intention here?
I am going to find somewhere to create a bonfire.
How large of a bonfire?
It's here. I'll put it in chat.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't want to place it yet.
You create a bonfire on the ground that you can see within range until the spell ends. The magic bonfire is fills a 5-foot cube. Whereabouts would you place that? Because yeah, it's on the ground that you can see, so it'd have to be like super near you.
Super close, yeah. Not great considering they're both in front of me.
Well, I mean,
So I was
technically, you can see back here. So
True.
if your intention is to get light, there might be better ways to do that. But if your intention is to block the exit, this would be a good plan.
Idea was to make light, at least so I could see a little bit. Otherwise, I need torch. I could just pull out a torch.
Yeah, there's no specification on light
On the
coming from a bonfire. Let me get that real quick. So that'd be like probably a torch. It'd be similar enough where the torch just wouldn't follow you. It would just be in that entrance. So it'd get you light
Okay.
here, but it wouldn't
help
further-
me with.
Yeah.
Okay, so scratch that torch. It's in inventory. Lighting torch is an action, I believe, right?
It's an interaction with an object, so yeah, we would say that's your action for this turn.
Yep. All right, that'll be my action then, and then hex one of the guys then, since that frees up concentration.
All right, so I applied that light source to you. In the meantime, everybody roll me initiative, and then let's move forward with our quote unquote surprise round attacks. Got advantage. They don't notice you. So Khaligrim, go ahead and move forward. Wisp, go ahead and cast your frostbite. Didn't mean to begin. Well, I did mean to begin, but I didn't. I forgot what that is. Okay. Yes. So Khaligrim, you run in your attacks, please. What are you doing?
Yes. Warhammer. Attack. Is the attack on advantage?
It is advantage, yes.
Okay.
20 connects. For 5 bludgeoning. So that lets out a huge impact. It yelps out in pain. You've got an extra attack. Go ahead and roll that.
An extra attack, okay. Is it still at advantage or normal?
I'd say normal at this point.
Yeah.
13 will connect. Meets and beats. 13 is the AC you're looking for.
Yo.
4. And we'll say that takes it out. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. We got 5 more feet of movement. The yelp in pain was rather loud. Just kind of echoed off the walls.
Probably like move over here. I don't want to like get cornered in between them.
Okay. Wisp. Frostbite. Go ahead. Roll that attack.
It's a Constitution saving throw. And if it'll show up.
So a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. And we'll say that's at disadvantage just to do it. So 6, so it'll fail. So 7 cold damage. It begins to freeze up.
Disadvantage on its next... Oh, wait. Next weapon attack? Yeah. Disadvantage on its next weapon attack before the end of its next turn.
All right. I don't like that wording, so we'll just say next attack. All right. Vels, you light your torch.
I lit my torch.
You're the top of the order.
Yeah.
I would say with your torch, you know, one was taken down. You can see a dead body, some blood. Out.
That's all I can see.
As much as you can see. Khaligrim has kind of left the general area. But here, yes, you do see.
Yes, now I can see them. All right. First thing, bonus action and cast Hex on the top one. And then it's going to have disadvantage on strength checks, I believe. Yep. And let's see, action. I'm going to cast both the same one. Let's see.
Uh, 23 will connect.
23, all right. And then let me see if this... Okay, it does. Cast bolt's funky. You have to roll 2d8s. And let's see, table 3. Okay, fire damage and plus 1d6. I don't like making you do math. Sorry.
Yep. Nope. That's enough to take it down. So yeah, if it wasn't the what was the initial damage of the chaos bolt?
So chaos bolt is 2d8 plus 1d6, but the 2d8 just determine what damage type it is. So it has to be
Yes.
rolled like separately.
So what
That's
was
what I'm
that damage?
I'm sorry about the math. It's those. See, 3, 8, 6, which is 11. Plus 6, 17. And then plus hex, which is
Right.
There.
We've got that.
we don't need that.
I'm looking for the damage type just to be clear.
Oh, damage type, fire.
Yeah. Fire. Okay, cool. So yes, it will begin to burn up. The necrotic damage definitely adds to that, but it's not as visible where you are with the fire roaring. But it's gonna yelp out in pain and drop. Anything else? That was 5, 10, 15
No.
of your movement, action, bonus
That's
action.
all I'm going. That's all I'm doing. That's
Khaligrim, you've got one wolf left that you can see. It is definitely aware of your presence. It is aware that his 2 people have gone down. What would you like to do?
I'll run up to it and give it a smack. Somehow.
20 connects. 9. Blast this guy. Just slams this wolf in the head. It goes down. You were aware there was at least one other based on the conversations that Wisp relayed to you guys. But these 3 are down. What would you like to do here? No other targets in sight.
I'll probably sneakily haste up here just to get a better view.
All right, you're gonna see this wolf here in the process of standing up. Seems to be very aware of your presence based on the yelps. And yeah, this is all you can see right now. There are 2 cave openings, or 2 openings to your right that you see. Rock in between. So that's 5, 10, 15 feet of movement. You've got another 10 feet. You've got a free action, bonus action. What would you like to do?
I'll probably just. I might stay where I am actually. Probably just move against the wall here. Probably.
Okay.
Just there.
Wisp. 3 initial targets are down. Khaligrim has moved forward into the cave.
In that case, I'm going to follow Khaligrim. Let's see, 1,
You
2,
can
5,
squeeze
10,
past him if you'd like.
15, 20, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, so I'll just get in just behind Khaligrim.
Okay, you see that wolf as well off to the top left.
Let's see. Range on Frostbite is. Where's my stuff? The range on that 60 feet. Okay. I guess I'll cast Frostbite on that wolf.
Okay.
And 7 again.
Constitution saving throw. Let's do that. Normal.
Mhm.
4. It's gonna fail. It'll take all 7 of that damage. And yeah, as it's in the process of standing up, it is gonna start freezing in place, and you see that it is struggling with that. It is starting to tip over. It's having a hard time remaining balanced. because it was like in the process of starting to move forward, and then its leg is up, and now it's frozen in place. Anything else?
I think that is it.
Okay, so it's got a disadvantage. It is going to kind of shake off the frost, and let's verify. It's got 40 feet of movement, so 5, 10, 15, 20. It's going to move up here, and another wolf is going to charge out, look around, and it sees you guys. 5, 10, 15, 20. This guy's going to move down. This guy's going to move over here. This is a very large wolf that you see in front of you, Khaligrim. So first of all, a wolf is going to bite. And let's just verify. Okay. It's got advantage on this roll. It's going to roll a 23. So Khaligrim, 23 will connect. Damage, 9. 9 piercing.
Okay.
I'm going to need a strength saving throw, please. It
Yep.
it bites you, and it grips you, and it tries to pull you down the ground. It just like grabs your leg, pulls it away from you, and is trying to just lower you to the ground. 21 will
Excellent.
pass. The large wolf. As it's gripping a hold of, as the small one is gripping a hold of your leg, well, small, normal, the normal size wolf, grips a hold of your leg, you kind of rip it apart, or like rip it away from them. But in the process, this other wolf bites at you. And I'm sorry, that was at advantage. So 16 meets and beats. So it will hit you for a total of 9 piercing damage. And again, I'm gonna need a strength saving throw from you.
Yep.
As it grabs hold of your arm and tries to pull you down. Again, you kind of move your weapon over as if you're like fanging to strike it, and it kind of pulls away, but you are still on your feet. But that is their turn. Vels.
All right. I'm gonna move up a little bit close to my friends, and that big wolf seems more of a bigger threat.
It seems, yeah, it's
So-
rather large. Yeah, it's rather large.
Yeah. Chaos bolt him. Normal.
13 will not connect. So it
Aw.
seems to reach it, but it doesn't seem to fully impact it.
His fur just absorbs it.
Yes, it's much hairier than the other. Anything else?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Sorry, I was a little distracted earlier. With that first wolf attack against Khaligrim, wasn't that at disadvantage?
Oh, that's a good call. Let's relook at those rolls. I forgot about that. And let's see what those rolls were. So, yeah, it would be a normal roll. So based on that, just looking at it, 19 was the first roll, 4 was the second roll. But I will be fine negating that initial 9 damage, Khaligrim. So you can add 9 health back. And then I'll just remember that moving forward. because I forgot,
Thanks.
and I don't
My cat was
I don't know how to
distracting me.
properly. Yeah, I don't know how to properly order that. I think it would still hit, but whatever. So good call. Anything else, Vels?
No, that's gonna be it. Yeah.
Khaligrim
Yep.
getting bit at from a normal sized wolf, which is roughly around the same size as you are, and then there's this honking one, really big. What would you like to do?
I completely forgot as well beforehand. Fire rune. I think that probably would have been on the hammer.
Okay.
But I shall use action surge. Is my special action. And then go for, I'll probably attack the big wolf.
Okay, so action surge would give you you can
Another
take one
action.
additional action. So first attack is going to miss. So again, you're raising your hammer to try to get it to drop you. It does. You do swing for it, but again, it leaves your arm alone, but in the process moves. You lose pinpoint of it. You do not hit. But you've technically got another attack and then another action.
Yeah, I'll go for another attack, another swing.
$18 will connect. For 6. Bludgeon it in the head. Kind of shakes it off, but that definitely affected it. And let me reread. Rune, so the fire rune. In addition, when you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, you can invoke the rune to summon fiery shackles. The target takes an extra 2d6 fire damage and must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained. How? When you hit a creature with an attack. So okay, yeah, I don't think you. Yeah, okay. So roll me that 2d6 and it's got to make a strength saving throw.
2d6. Where was that?
You can either click the 2d6 in the description or in the chat bar there is the ability to just click the dice and roll it. Yeah, it's going to make that save though.
In description. Where was that? I just need to find it.
Well, at least in your
There we
chat
go.
bar all the way at the bottom. Yeah, all the way at the bottom you've got like the different dice shapes. You can click those. Automatically puts that in the chat and then you just roll it. But nine fire damage. It is going to bypass the restrained part. It's going to make that save, so it's not restrained. But you've got those are your normal action. Your action surge means you can use your action again, which is 2 attacks.
Oh, I thought I did my second attack, didn't I?
You have extra attack now that you're level 5. I know you just leveled up today, but that is a built-in thing. Level 5 extra attack for fighters.
Okay, so I get a second one.
You've swung twice. You used action surge to use another action. You did that out of order, but it is whatever. I mean, you don't. If you'd rather not use your action surge here and just see how this plays out, that's fine too. You do know this this wolf is hurt. Those 2 hits. Well, the one hit and the fire damage. Like, there's definitely some smoke rising from it. There is a lot of open wounds on its face from the hammer attack.
Okay. I'll probably end my turn there.
Okay, sounds good. Wisp. Got a wolf in front of you and a big wolf behind that.
Hey. In that case, I'm going to let's see. Cast Moonbeam like right in between the 2 wolves. It's a 5-foot pillar, essentially.
Okay.
Come on. There we go.
Pinpoint where that was again.
Right there.
Oh, okay. You're drawing it. Cool. Very good. So Constitution saving throw. They both will have to make it. So 5 normal wolf will fail. Constitution for the larger one 10. So yes, both will fail. So it was 10 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Large wolf drops. Small wolf drops.
Ooh.
And there's quiet.
So you know
You
we're here, so we
guys
could keep
are-
moving.
Yeah, you guys are still looking for battle, but yeah, you cleared these guys out pretty quickly.
Well,
You
my
don't hear
Moonbeam is
any
up
other
for a
movement.
minute, so I figure if we want to move, I got this Moonbeam up for a whole minute.
Yeah, I think we should probably move while it's up.
Pretend that I've moved it forward, so that way we don't run
Okay.
into it.
Oh,
Sure.
okay, good. That's why I wasn't. Like, see, I don't see anything over here.
How do stuff?
Nothing behind that rock. It looks
Yeah,
like the
I mean,
cave continues up this way.
Okay.
the majority of what you guys are seeing, there's some scattered bones. Looks like over on the right side, where you guys were before, behind this pillar, this rock, maybe like a bedding area for the dogs, the wolves. But yeah, overall, really see much anything else in this area. Seems like you've cleared out the wolves. However, Vels,
Yep. I see an area up there.
how did you get over there? All right, give me a second. So, Vels, yes, rock on the walls. The walls are natural caves, so rocks everywhere. However, over in this vicinity, there is vines that are kind of draping over, a bit of overgrowth, and it seems like maybe they're coming from the ceiling or they're coming from the ground. It's hard to tell, but as you get closer, especially with the torchlight, not necessarily even investigating it, you just happenstance, you notice that it does seem like there is an opening behind that. So towards the northwest. Seems like it would take, like, it might be something that you can just kind of push through. Having a blade of some kind would definitely assist here if you were to cut away some of this vines, but there's definitely an opening here. How far it goes, it's hard to tell. It's pretty full, but definitely manageable with the right tools. I would say the other thing that you would notice is it seems pretty sturdy. In that it doesn't seem like the wolves moved in there. Like there's no like push, no like shapes like pushing through it. Seems pretty much untouched from the wolves.
Before we move forward, can I give 1 potion of healing each to Khaligrim and Vels?
Sure.
You both get a basic potion of healing.
Oh, thank you.
Do my best to keep you alive.
Again, Val's looking at it, seeing what appears to be a continuation of the cave, just overgrowth covering it. A blade of some sort could probably cut through it. You could try to push through it, but I would say you're noticing there are some thorns on those vines.
Oh, okay. Probably best to cut through them then. I'm gonna pull out a dagger and try to swipe them away. Down.
Okay. Based on the amount of them, takes about 5 minutes or so. But you are able to make a path.
Shall we continue?
Yep.
Vels, before you move forward, Wisp.
Taking me a second to move
Wisp.
forward.
Okay. Sounds good. Wisp, passive perception. Vines have been cut, but I would say as you move in, you're going to notice some movement from the vines. So it's not just like that they're falling because they've just been cut, but it seems like the vines that are attached to the wall, you're going to notice almost like pull back from you. You didn't see it for the others. As you look forward and they're kind of continuing to push through, you're not noticing the vines move for them, but there is like movement away from you almost.
Oh,
Again,
that
they've
was
been cut.
interesting.
And they've been cut, but yeah. Yeah, it's almost like not necessarily shriveling, but just compacting a bit closer to the walls as you move through. But yes, this hall will continue. The ceiling's about 10 feet high here, pretty wide. Overall, everyone give me a perception. All right. So looking at general vision, you guys are seeing something you're not supposed to see, so don't pretend like you do. But I would say you notice you're all gonna notice strangeness, a strange atmosphere. Again, it's very quiet. This ground is filled with dust. Small pebbles, probably just natural cave kind of degrading as time goes on. But Wisp and Khaligrim, you're both gonna feel almost like a little bit of tingling in your arms. Soft, super low ringing of bells in your ears. And a faint purplish glow coming up ahead.
Is anybody else hearing that?
Yep. That tingling in the body
Doing
too.
what?
There's like the sound of, it's really super faint, but like the sound of bells coming from ahead, I think.
Yeah.
I'll look at my arms and see if there's anything like the hairs are standing up or something. If I notice anything different.
Just weird energy.
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's like you feel this tingling, almost like something like kind of touches your arm. You look down and then their hairs are just kind of starting to stand up. Goosebumps start to kind of rise. Again, it's just a weird energy, almost static sensation.
I think the wolves were the least of our problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something weird up ahead.
If you got with you guys pointing that out, Khaligrim, you know, would assume, goosebumps, hair standing up on your arms, probably not a thing for Dragonborn. But you would start to kind of get a similar sensation. Just it feels like something like light, almost kind of brushing up against your arms.
Scale start vibrating. There we go. There's the sensation.
soft vibration in your head, almost like a ringing of a bell.
Do we see
But
any
yes,
footprints
there's
on the ground or any sort of marks?
No, nothing at all. I mean, again, it's just mostly like dust caused by probably degradation of the cave over time. You've got some pebbles in the ground. Just a lot of dust. So what are we doing?
Oh, we have to keep
I guess the
going,
only way is
don't
forward.
we?
Yeah.
Yep. See, I can get.
Yeah, move right about there. Similar sensation, stronger. Head starts to hurt almost. There's no like it's obvious there's no like audible sound, but it just feels like just something almost like interfering with you. Vels, just with passive perception insight, I guess. I would say there's definitely a magical energy coming up ahead. And that purplish glow that you could see as this cave kind of opens up into a large chamber. It's definitely like whatever that energy is coming from that room.
Do I have any idea? Like, can I feel what kind of magic it would be?
Not without like
No.
detect magic. You could roll
Okay.
Arcana to see if this remember anything.
All right.
Similar to that. 15. Yeah, as far as like school, you're not necessarily sensing that the purple glow doesn't really match up per se with a memory, but just with the it's a bad feeling. You feel like whatever is up ahead magic related is like without words suggesting you do not continue. So probably some kind of like ward of some sort. But any specific spell, nothing comes to mind.
I'm gonna relay that back. Like it feels almost like some kind of magical ward, but oh, we have a job. We have to keep going. So.
Maybe we can at least see a little bit more inside.
Yeah.
Now we've got a marching order. All right. So as you guys get closer,
There's walls now.
there is there's a room. The chamber. It is somewhat circular in shape. Ceilings go to about 40 to 60 feet. It definitely feels like you're getting further into the mountain. There are some large boulders on the ground. They don't necessarily block light. You can see kind of around them to the walls. You do know there's some greenery on either side, and that greenery kind of carried throughout on the walls, just not as thick as the initial hallway. But this greenery seems to kind of cover the entire archway going from one side to another as you enter into this space. But yes, there are yeah, it just seems like it's a weird visual because you're inside of a cave, but there is this weird magical light occurring here, this purplish glow. There is but despite that, there's like plant life, there's mushrooms growing. But I would say this feeling, the sound in your head, the hair on your arms sticking up, the feeling of being unwanted or something bad is about to happen, I think would be very strong here. But Vels, you can definitely see it. Wisp, you can definitely see it. And Cal, I'm just gonna move you over here just so you've got a similar view to everyone else.
Okay.
So what's the plan? What are we doing?
Well, maybe we can see where that light's coming from.
Basic view right now, it looks like just kind of just emanating from the center. You don't necessarily see a specific source. It just seems to kind of cover the entire space. But Wisp,
And the
do
one
you
day I
want to
didn't bring detect magic.
Wisp? Do you want to move forward in Vels, Khaligrim?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as much as we physically can.
Well,
That's a wall.
that's an interesting statement. Yeah, Vels, you start to move forward, and you feel almost like physically stopped. Like you can move your legs and start to like head forward, but it's almost like there's something stopping you. And Khaligrim, as you move around to get through that archway, you're feeling the same thing. Like just something is stopping you from entering in. You don't see it. You don't necessarily feel a physical wall, but there's just something pausing your movement further in. Wisp, you're in behind, you would notice this. You would notice that they like start to move forward and then just kind of stop and just look around.
Are we moving forward?
There's some kind of magical barrier here. I
Can't move.
back up a bit and be like, no idea how or what it is, but I can't seem to get through it.
I'm gonna try and move forward and see if I can get through.
Yeah, see if it accepts you or I don't know how to get through it. But
And Wisp, you move in without hesitation, without issue. And as you do, the light changes from purplish to green.
That was weird.
Yeah.
And then you hear a
I
voice.
mean, I'm in.
Yeah, as you turn around, kind of like shrugging off like whatever this was, you're going to hear a voice coming from inside the room. It just kind of booms. It's echoey, again, difficult to pinpoint a source. But the voice calls out, "Who are you and why have you come here?"
I'm Wisp Ithrian of the Adventurers Guild. On behalf of the miners who are going to be working in this area. Preventing them from being able to work
You wish to come and destroy this place, then?
Not necessarily. I don't even know what this place is. And who are you? And where are you?
Are you stepping forward, or are you staying in that place just past the threshold?
Lord.
As you say that and you step forward, the voice changes tone slightly, or it was very authoritative. Now seems a little less angry or confrontational. Beg your pardon, miss. Quite some time since I've seen your kind here.
You mean elves or just kind of people in general?
Elves. And I see you walk with one born from dragons, the other dwarf. It has been quite some time since all three have entered into this place. Please, state your purpose once again.
Overall, we're trying to figure out what's going on here. There is a number of people who are looking for sources of iron and have noticed that there's quite a bit here in these caves, but have been unable to enter. But I can see that there's more going on than just a pile of resources. And I'd like to know
Your name
I would like to know
again?
more. My name is Wisp
What is your-
Ithrian.
Ithrian.
Yes.
At that, the boulder is gonna move to the south, and this guy is gonna step forward. Just huge boulder, humanoid boulder. It's gonna step forward, arms, legs. You see, kind of eyes, but made out of stone. No mouth. And it will kneel in front of you. I do not recognize Wisp, but I do recognize Ithrian. Apologies
You
for
do?
blocking your entrance.
Well, it seems like you're just defending
Please.
yourself.
Please, you can all enter. And you guys should have the ability to walk through.
Okay. Thank you. What may I call you?
I protect this place. I have no name, but it is sacred to these lands. To be fair, if only we had Furbolg and Orc, be like a family reunion in these parts.
How long have you lived here?
For a very long time. I am here to protect the sanctity of this area. It's an agreement. Mines would not move through this section. This is a place of, well, meeting, agreement, and religions of sorts.
See, I never knew this place existed.
Said it has been much time. You are not here for the reasons I would hope.
By that,
But, well, your reasons are different than my instructions. So, for now, what I will say to you is this area is off limits. There is an old dwarven mine just up the mountain. It is quite possible that mining operations could happen there, but not here.
I'm gonna pull out the old map and look on it, see like what's in the area. Like, is this? So look and yeah, there's a mining icon actually right over there too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Huh.
that's a good
Is
It seems up further up the mountain. You guys are like in the lower corner of that hex rather.
all right. Thank you. That is. We'll let the miners know that there's another mine just up ahead, and that this one can be preserved. And you can remain protected.
Out of curiosity, how do you know my family?
Ithrian's very instrumental in much of the preservation of these lands. Shame of what happened, but I cannot fault them in particular. The mistake, that type of mistake, your generation won't repeat.
What mistake was that?
Yeah. That is not my place. I am here for one purpose. Recommend you speak with the trees.
Perhaps not today, but I can probably make that happen.
Wisp, can you roll me a history check?
Sure.
9. Okay. Would anyone like to give Wisp advantage?
That's
Yeah.
Just thinking that.
Then roll again.
Let's try that again. Whoop. And a second
15.
now.
Okay, that's better.
There
Wisp. Memory's a bit hazy. But this stone figure says to speak with the trees. The meaning isn't completely aware to you, but you would kind of think back to stories you heard as a kid. It's definitely not something you experienced firsthand, but again, one of those tales that are told from child to child, from parent to child. Always kind of seemed like an old wives' tale, maybe, just because you really didn't move forward towards it. But there was always this story about a tree deep in the woods of the tangled hill forest, just on the edge of the jungle. Yeah, like the jungle area. So probably about a day's journey from where you lived down there. But yeah, there was this the story of a tree that spoke, knew much about the land around it. As far as your knowledge, you only heard of the one tree. Possible, that's what he's referring to.
Okay. Interesting.
At this point, it's gonna get up off the knee and stand up. Your purpose here today is to clear out this area. But again, I recommend against that. Head north into the old dwarven mines. Start there, and hopefully it'll have the resources you need. The resources here. Important.
I understand, and I look forward to returning and learning more about this place.
Please return when you've come for the right reasons.
Well,
He's going to start kind of moving
most certainly
back
will.
into where he was. Real quick interjections. This is probably a bit shocking to you guys. The fact that this boulder has just moved into view, and figure and is talking to you and is protecting this place. But you would have recalled a report coming in from Storm Island about a month-ish ago, maybe maybe 10 days ago. Party out of Sedund went to Storm Island, and they experienced something similar inside of a cave that had crystals in it. And same general circumstance. There was a stone, like some kind of guardian made out of stone that was protecting that cave. While initially awe-inspiring, kind of shocking, seems rather similar to the report that you read before. But yes, Wisp, I think the impression you get is he is holding you, or at least your family, in high regard. Boulder is still standing. Anything else you guys want to do here? Probably a lot of process, but just in case
Yeah.
there's a question.
I'm thinking we should probably go out and tell the dwarves not to
Yeah.
mine here.
Yeah, we
before
should
they start
also
getting too antsy.
Yeah, we should also check out the other mine and make sure it's safe for them to mine, so they can at least start mining in that one before again they get too antsy and just come here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can scout ahead and take a look and
Yeah.
because we definitely want to come back here.
Yeah. I have so many questions now.
Well, I mean, is there any questions you would attempt to ask right now?
Well, he specifically said come back for the right reason, and we're not here for the right reason currently. Also, Vels needs time to process that all as well.
Yeah. You don't know the meaning. You don't know what the purpose of this space was, but obviously there was dragonborn dwarves and elves, furbolg and orcs that stood on in this cave at one time for a reason. As far as you guys are aware, is all of the natives outside of the kobolds.
I'm definitely
Okay.
even more curious about my family history.
All right, so you guys exit out. You say your goodbyes and you exit out. Looking at the wolf in question, the larger wolf, it does not seem is it's definitely large. The pelt probably would fare pretty well. It has taken some fire damage though. As has some of the other wolves here. So probably wouldn't fetch too much on the market. But again, like the size of the large wolf, it's definitely large, but it's not like as impressive to you, Khaligrim or Vels, as that bear. That bear was. But definitely things to note and report in with. Scouting around the area, you guys kind of walk around a good like 500, 600 feet radius. Maybe spend like a half hour or so just kind of looking around the area. You do find what appears to be another entrance further up the mountain. And yeah, Khaligrim, you would definitely recognize the marksmanship, the way it was built. It definitely feels very dwarven and mine entrance kind of vibe to it. So it seems like the right location, and it's really not that much further away. You just have to convince the rest of the miners not to go into that cave that you were in. And actually, before you guys head back down, is there anything you would want to do besides just instruct them not to go into that cave? Or how would you be approaching that, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, we should discuss how to best convince them to mine other cave.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like closing off this cave, at least temporarily.
It's actually not a bad idea.
I mean, we still know where to come back to, and idea that it might make more work for them. I don't know.
So
Are you doing
there'd be like,
anything at the cave?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like there be rocks would like be moving the way of the cave. Make it
Well, one thing
almost
that
look like
I can do, one thing I can do, once we are out of the cave, and maybe if we drag out that large wolf's body, so we can salvage whatever the pelt that we can. Um, Once we're ready to leave, I'm going to cast Erupting Earth on the entrance to the cave. I'll just post it.
Thank you. Process of reading it. That's okay. Additionally, ground in that area becomes difficult terrain. Blah. 1 minute to clear by hand. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it just fades
Super
away.
filled in, but
Yeah, it would just fill it in. Acceptable. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Mhm.
So it's a 20-foot cube centered on a point. I would say you could fill that entrance. No problem. And yeah, you could make a mental note of where you are, how to get back here. It's no problem. Real quick, just because I forgot, you had asked about scouting the other dwarven mine entrance to verify there's nothing in there that you could see. I would say there's definitely tracks around the area, around the entrance, but the entrance also has a bit of a sealed door. It's made out of stone. So breaking through that should be no issue for dwarves with picks. But yeah, because it's sealed, it doesn't seem like anything would have been able to enter in. So you should be good on that front to send them up there.
well, we can lead them up there if they want to as well.
yeah.
We just have to hope there's
Well,
enough iron in that mine for them to get things back up and running.
If they can at least get started there, maybe there's another source of iron somewhere else that can be found in the meantime.
Okay. Well, with that, yeah, you guys can go back down to uh, the person in charge. Let me get the name again. Yeah, you guys could go back down to Neuroval, give him your report, let him know where the actual mine entrance is. That's an old dwarven mine. And yeah, I think it would be obvious to you guys, just based on things that you're seeing, like the rock types are the same around the entrance to that mine as well. Khaligrim, you'd be familiar that it is iron deposits that are kind of sticking out. So it does look like going into that mine, it would at least get them a head start on where to mine next, for sure.
Okay.
But you guys, yeah, you guys can report that in, and then it'd be difficult to get back tonight to Whitmor, but you guys could spend the night here at the caravans, kind of carouse a bit, spend some time with the miners. Um, I would say
Catch up with
after
the dwarven
you,
family.
yeah, after you notify Nuraval and kind of start mingling, there would be a large excitement in the air as he would alert everyone, make an announcement that the caves can or the mines can be open. There's an old dwarven mine, and we'll start first thing in the morning and head there. So there's a great excitement.
Excellent.
But that's where we can end. You guys for this job earned 50 gold pieces per person. And can head back to Whitmore in the morning. And then you can decide what is next, what you guys are going to do next. Got some options, it sounds like. First, there's potentially meeting with Jabal at some point. Now there's also a tree to go locate on the other side of the continent. Potentially talk to.
Any history on the other races and their involvement in that area?
I would say much like your understanding from talking with Vels, the Dragonborn are they pretty much occupy parts of the north. And for you, where you came from, again, the Tangled Hills and like the edges of the jungle, you would know that elves kind of position themselves there. That seems to be where a lot of the elven clans are. Furbolgs, you're aware, exist, kind of spread out. You are aware of Clover, who is a member of the Adventurers Guild. Her clan was over here, so just north of the Grimhead Marsh, just south of Pumpkin Town, so the direction that Jabal was going to. You would know Svamp, who is another Furbolg adventurer. Her family is up in the mountains, on the eastern side. So they're kind of spread out. And then Orc, you'd be aware that just through passing conversations, probably haven't really seen them. But orcs don't necessarily have a home. They there is a tribe of orcs that wander, basically. They're nomads, so they just kind of go from place to place.
Okay.
So I think that's the knowledge that you all would generally have. Yeah. But yeah, just like the Dragonborn, the elves kind of isolated themselves a bit. But at least for the two Furbolg that are members of the Adventurers Guild, you would know how to contact them.
Good to know.
Or maybe that's again where Jabal was heading. He kind of alluded to that there was a Furbolg family that lived down there. So maybe he could introduce you as well. But all right, that's it. There's nothing else, or at least for me. Anything from you guys?
No, not from me.
I've got nothing.
Nope. I'm just
Cool.
gonna stick really close to Vels and Khaligrim, just knowing what happened when I wasn't there.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's it. Thank you everyone who are watching the stream and taking part in the chat. And but we will end it here.
Being here.
You guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.